Hey, what's going on? Luke here, and hopefully we're going to one-take this one. I mean, I'm live streaming, so I have to one-take it, but we're here to do my tips and predictions for the Rugby League World Cup of 2021, but it's actually 2022. Weird, I know. I think it's officially Rugby League World Cup 2021. COVID, you know, it is. It is what it is. Shout out to everybody who's in the live stream right now. Mr. Meme, Ruben's in here, Scorchy, Garrett Sale, Narelle. Yeah, I think this is going to be a great World Cup. I feel like in previous World Cups, I haven't really cared too much because I always thought Australia was going to be the sure thing. Not so much the case this year. I feel like there's a couple other teams, or countries I should say, not teams, a couple other nations who definitely have a chance. And funnily enough, in previous years, England's always been one of those ones that was like right at the top of the list of being chances to win it. But I feel like, despite them being the hosts, this is the least amount of hype. I mean, they got Victor Radley playing for him. Apart from that, though, I don't really know who's in their squad. I mean, that's Amano. Sam Tompkins is there. But in previous years, we've always had like a host of NRL guys. You always had, you know, all the Raiders boys. You had like your James Graham, your Sam Burgess. Yeah, there was a lot of guys who could play there. And this year just doesn't feel the same. Gareth Widdop, another one, just doesn't feel the same. So I don't have the hype for England. For Australia, the hype isn't even there either. Like, we know Australia's going to be a good side, and just a spoiler, they are my prediction to actually win the whole comp. I feel like the cohesion of playing... I feel like the one thing that Australia has is that they get to play State of Origin level, and I know obviously it's a mix of Australia, of New South Wales and Queensland, but just some of the combinations, and probably why, say a guy like Nathan Cleary, best halfback in the comp, but isn't a sure thing to be the halfback for Australia, because there's combinations for Queensland, Munster, Cherry Evans, even like your Harry Grants, Ben Hunts. And then you get to add in a guy like Tedesco as well. So it does make it very dangerous. Plus, those guys have been playing together for years as well. So got a couple of good combinations there. In terms of New Zealand, I think this is the strongest New Zealand side they've put out in a long, long time. Same can be said for Samoa. Tonga, I feel like, have been stronger in the past, but still going to be a bit of a force. Obviously, like, I feel like one of the last times they played Australia, they picked up a victory not that long ago. I was looking at the highlights. A lot of the same players are playing for Australia who are playing in this World Cup. So we'll see how they go. In terms of Samoa, though, they're the real smoky for me. Not in terms of winning it. Like, I'm not going to get crazy and say, oh, Samoa's going to win it, or, you know, those sort of ones. I think it's going to be entertaining. I think they'll go quite deep into the tournament. But I feel like ultimately, I feel like Australia's going to win it. And I feel like realistically, with how the draw is, I think it'll probably end up being like Australia versus England. I feel like the home crowd will do wonders for England, to be honest with you. I think it'll do well. Just in terms of like all the group stages and that sort of stuff, like I don't really know too much. Like I had all the groups in there. It's like we all know like just the usual suspects are going to be there. Australia's going to be there. New Zealand's going to be there. England's going to be there. I'm interested to see teams like Lebanon. Jake Carraz, I'm a big Bulldog supporter. He's going to be playing fullback for them. I think he looked pretty good in the trials. You got guys like Italy who have Nathan Brown playing for them. Luke Keary got a couple good players. I think it's going to be like a cool little test to see some of those guys. A lot of the guys who play in like New South Wales Cup get an opportunity. I like that aspect of the World Cup, but look, just in terms of actually going deep into the tournament, it's going to be usual suspects. And then you always get like a team like Samoa, Tonga, all that sort of stuff. But I feel like with how the draw's going, if everything goes to plan for these sides, I feel like Australia and New Zealand take on each other in the semi-finals, I believe. So no grand final for them. So that's why I think it'll be like Australia versus England or New Zealand versus England. I feel like the real grand final will be the semi-final. I feel like it's going to be Australia versus New Zealand, despite all of the other nations there. I feel like it's still going to be the same sort of thing. And maybe the finals can be different. I don't know. But I feel like whoever wins out of New Zealand and Australia, I think they're the two main ones who's actually going to win it. I feel like Samoa got a great backline, great four-pack. They can do some damage, but I feel like the hooker and like even Suoli is going to be the fullback, but still somewhat weak. So, yeah, like I can't say that they're going to win it, but I definitely think they'll compete. But yeah, I've already said I think Australia's going to win. Let's go through, and even the grand final, but let's go through and talk about who I think is going to get top try scorer. I think it's going to be a guy like Brian Toro. With Australia and a couple of those other ones, I feel like there's always going to be the element of, yeah, Australia's going to towel up some teams for sure. Like, definitely. Like, England plays Scotland for sure. Australia, I can't even remember who they play, but they play in the morning. I'll be able to tell you in a sec if it ever loads. I'm trying to load it up on my phone right now. Doesn't want to load for me. But Australia play the second game. They take on Fiji. So like Fiji's got some good players, but I expect Australia to towel them up. But Australia's going to be rotating players. Whereas a team like Samoa, not going to be rotating, in my opinion anyways. They're going to win every game, and they're going to be out to prove a point. And I feel like a guy like Brian To'o, even I think Taylor May might be in the squad as well. But Brian To'o is actually my pick for top try scorer. Top point scorer, I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with Latrell Mitchell. Go Latrell Mitchell to get top point scorer. I think he might be goal kicking if Nathan Cleary isn't there. And I feel like he might not be there very often. Well, more than I thought. I thought Nathan Cleary was a shoo-in, but obviously not. So I feel like Latrell Mitchell might be a chance of top point scorer. Maybe even like a guy from England, one of their halves or something. It could be a chance. In terms of like pools and that sort of stuff. Like I said, I'm not going to get into that, but I already kind of went through and I did my tips and predictions. I told you who I think is going to win. I told you who I think is going to play in the grand final. And I sort of gave you a quick little rundown of all of the sides that I think are competitive. Obviously, I can go around and talk about like Papua New Guinea and all that, but I don't really have too much knowledge on who a lot of the actual players are. A lot of them play in like reserve grade and that sort of stuff. I can only really go off first grade. That's all I've really seen. And by first grade, I mean the NRL. So apologies for that. I'm not going to have this super in-depth analysis, but I don't know. I don't know if people are actually really putting too much thought into this World Cup in terms of that sort of stuff. No one ever does. I mean, especially when it's over in England. Maybe if it's in Australia, but like I said, there's like a fair bit of interest. I mean, I'm making Rugby League Live 4 videos and stuff. Views have usually go down at this point of the year, but they've sort of been about the same. So, well, I think the World Cup's got that little bit of intrigue, but at the same time, usual suspects are going to be there. So, yeah, guys, I'm going to wrap things up here. Hopefully you did enjoy this video, enjoy this stream. If you did, make sure you go ahead and smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Also, make sure to use the notification bell. Don't rely on the sub boxes. Use the notification bell and never miss any of my videos. Also, go ahead and chuck me a follow on social media. Usually I'd say it's on the screen, but it's not. So, go in the description or just search up Mr. Luke and YT, MRLUKEONYT. Yeah, follow me on social media, including TikTok as well, Snapchat included. Give me a follow, give me an ad. Become a member. There's definitely a link in the description. Go and become a member. Helps out the channel massively. And guys, I'm going to wrap things up here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on my next one. See yous.